I chose Warwick because I wanted a campus experience, and Warwick gives just that. It's nice being an international student to come to a community, walking into the same people, seeing your lecturers and peers around. It just gives you a sense of comfort, and that's something I really wanted. Another reason I chose Warwick was because I want to do research in the future, and Warwick is known for its research, so I thought it would be a good stepping stone to kind of get my BSc here and then go on to the MRes and PhD program. And it's been great and everything I've hoped for this far.
So I'm Anish, and my journey in Warwick started from the day when we had a small, I guess, uh, college like session. Like it was like an informative session where someone from Warwick University represented us, and from that day I realized that. Considering my acumen, I really wanted to go to Warwick University to explore all the skills. And since like it's a 23rd ranked university in terms of the program, when we see like economics and the way it has like transformed me like academically and all the opportunities that it has provided me, I feel it has been really enriching, and I really have made a great good amount of friends also, and I really appreciate the experience that Warwick University has given me.
I chose to pursue my MSc in Warwick because of two main reasons. The first one was obviously because how well the department has consistently been performing over the years. The university in itself is well reputed, of course, but even within that, the econ department is very highly acclaimed. Actually, the stats show that too, because if I'm not wrong, we've been ranked top of the specialist subject table for economics in the Good University Guide for 3 consecutive years now, which is amazing. And then also for research, we have been ranked second in the UK for research excellence in the Times Higher Education rankings based on the results of the most recent one is 2021. So on the basis of 2021 research excellence framework. And apart from this, I took part in the Warwick Economics Summit in 2022. And I absolutely loved how happy and involved all the students here looked. And to be very fair, they were so smart because they really knew what they were saying and what they were studying. And I really wanted to be a part of this department and the university.
I think for me, as to why I chose Warwick, I have like three very specific reasons. The first one is the comprehensive curriculum that Warwick offers, which sort of aligned with my interest in quantitative methods and like policy analysis. So that was one of the motivators for me to choose to study at Warwick. The second one was the diverse community that Warwick has, which is like on campus and off campus both. It kind of fosters a multicultural environment, which I felt as an international student was very crucial for me, considering I was leaving everything behind and traveling to a completely unknown country. And the third one is the strong alumni network that Warwick holds, which was key for me that if I'm coming to university, I need a university that's going to be with me after my education's over and not just during, which I can assure that Warwick has done for me since I have graduated. So those are my reasons.
Yep, so I also did my bachelor's degree in the economics department. And for me, purely the student experience and the opportunities offered by the department were enough to convince me to stay on for the master's program. Socially, the university is, I think, an unbelievable experience. And to be able to lead a fulfilling social life and pursue academic and professional opportunities both within and external to the department, I think it's a very, very big thing about Warwick. I gained a lot of research experience even throughout my undergraduate years that I could transform and continue doing in my master's years, that have been very, very useful for my career.
What appealed to me most was the range of modules that Warwick offers, and also the fact that you can pick between the A variant and the B variant, which means you can really specialize into topics if you already know you have an interest. And I think that allowed me to focus my time and be productive onto the areas that I found interesting. Another thing was because I did my undergraduate at Warwick as well, I already knew some of the lecturers and professors, and I know how great they were. So the opportunity to keep working with them and then learn stuff at a much higher level really motivated me to stay on. And I think I stayed for what Warwick has to offer the people here at Warwick and just the campus again. I can't emphasize that enough.
So, having done a bachelor's also in economics with a finance concentration, I found like the MSc course with this international financial economics specialization to be wonderful because it combined the intersection of economics and finance. So, like in term one, we got to choose micro, macro, and econometrics, and we have like two options, like two levels of like courses you can choose, and I chose like the A version, the easier one. But ultimately, that easier version also gave me a lot of concepts and things that I can carry forward. And in term two, I got to choose a lot of options since like I was interested in finance, so I chose like topics totally based in financial management and finance. And I feel it will enable me to go deeper into my research field also, and in future also if I get into work in corporate sector also, in any field also, I will get that exposure of all the subjects combined in a thorough manner. So I feel this course has been really enriching, and it has inspired me to go deeper into complex topics in economics and finance.
What particularly appealed to me about Warwick's MSc course was how well structured the entire course looked. And this is even before I joined as a student. Just the website, how everything was designed, everything looked so structured and in order. And I went through the works of the different professors here, and that I really loved that. But now that I have joined as a student here, I'll probably talk a little bit more from my actual experience of the courses so far. So far I've done only term one, where we had to do micro, macro, and econometrics. And again, one great feature was that we could choose either the A variants or the B variants, where the A's were more practical in approach and the B's were more theoretically intense. But that doesn't really mean that the A's are very light when compared to the B's, because they each have their own separate challenges and their own separate approaches. And the courses are designed in such a way that all of them, that if you consistently study throughout the term without really procrastinating, it'll be a breeze for you and you'll get everything done. But other than that, the additional feedback and help that we have received, I have received in particular, that was mind blowing, because I got all the necessary statistical, mathematical, programming skills that I really need to pursue an MSc in economics. And the professors, the advice and feedback hours that we had, the seminars. So it is all just designed in a way that all you really need to do is to just get into the department, and the rest will be taken care of by the people in the department.
I think what particularly appealed to me about the MSc courses, specifically MSc Economics, was the focus that Warwick had on econometrics. So we had econometrics in semester one and semester two, so it kind of gave us enough time to like understand each concept and kind of go in depth into the different models, kind of how they work. It also gave us like econometrics at Warwick also had like a research paper which we had to write. So I think that was like a plus point to the module in itself, because that kind of gave us the opportunity to individually apply the skill sets, the theoretical understanding and the know-how of what we've learned, and kind of answer a question which, like a burning question we thought was important, and kind of combine research and quantitative methods both together, which, as I mentioned earlier, is one of the reasons that I picked Warwick for my future and career. The other one was the elective courses that we had in semester two. I think that was kind of a great plus point because that kind of gave me a glimpse of what a specialization in economics would look like. So I've always been interested in environmental economics, and I had one of my electives as environmental economics. It gave me the understanding of what I can expect from the field. I think Professor Lucy, who taught us environmental economics, is not with the university anymore, but she was a great help. And I enjoyed the module so much that later on during my dissertation, I approached Professor Lucy to be my supervisor. So I think these were the two things that kind of really appealed to me about the course and what I enjoyed the most during my time at Warwick.
So for me, there were really two things that were very appealing about work. One of them is the quality of the faculty, which in turn translates into the course content being on the frontier of scientific knowledge, which was of great importance to me. Secondly, the course is structured in such a way where people have a great deal of choice in terms of how deep they want to go into certain topics. And with the electives, you can really specialize into what interests you. And for me, this was very useful to set myself up for a future PhD. And I still benefit a lot from the course content that I got at work.
The skills I've developed over time vary a lot. I think every module gives you a different skill that you will use at some point. The basics obviously are time management, accountability, responsibility to get the work done, because if you're not on top of everything at all points, if you start slacking, then it becomes really difficult to kind of catch up and very stressful. So I think discipline is what I'm getting at. So being at Warwick and doing these modules have really disciplined me and made me accountable to myself, which I think is great. Another important skill that I found was how analytical I've become. Studying econometrics in such depth kind of teaches you that once you look at numbers, once you look at modules, you can kind of read them as if they were words. And I think that skill is very important, especially if you're going to any future research or any industry later on that kind of needs you to look at reports and understand what the numbers mean. And lastly, another skill that I've also appreciated is kind of the support that Warwick's given me. So it's not always just about me, because you've been part of different societies, because you become part of different executive roles at societies. You kind of have a commercial awareness. You also have a responsibility to the members of the society. And I think that just builds a stronger sense of community and a stronger sense of awareness just generally. And I think that's been great.
I feel like when we consider like from academics point of view, the courses that I've studied in my MSc Economics and International Financial Economics course has given me a lot of perspective, starting from like analyzing different behavioral decisions, or maybe like through game theory we analyze strategies, or like in macroeconomics we understood like growth and development and intricacies of the world. And in econometrics we knew how we can calculate those intricacies to get deeper analysis. And in current semester also, if we consider academically, I've been learning financial management tools, I've been learning the strategies in global finance and other stuff. So academically I feel my thought process towards various subjects and various things which is affecting globally is has developed quite deeply. And also, if I consider myself apart from academics, I have been into leadership roles, like in the student representative. I'm a student representative for my MSc Economics and International Financial Economics course, and I have been raising points along with a lot of my co-members also to make the course better. And also, I'm a part of the PG representative for the student union, and I'll be doing some things which can benefit the student union as well. So I feel like I have uh, also imbibe the leadership skills and also the confidence to voice my opinions for the better for other people, for the betterment of the society. And as whole like I guess Warwick University also has made me a better person also. So yeah, this much only.
There are so many skills that I have acquired in this short while. I don't think I have time enough to talk about all of them really, but I am going to talk a little bit about the technical skills that we as budding economists need to have. And for that, I would say programming like R and Stata to solve econometric problems. That has been very crucial. And before I came to Warwick, I was honestly terrified of econometrics. I always viewed it as a very hard and formidable subject that I need to stay away from. But now econometrics is my favorite subject. And I mean, that tells a lot about the skills that I've acquired here at Warwick. And I love to see everything beyond just what is written and to actually understand the concept more thoroughly. And I appreciate that. I have learned to not just read, but to analyze every problem that I'm given. And apart from that, I think in life, generally, we need a certain skill set which is not really technical, and that is something I've gained from Warwick in this short while. I am somebody who gets very flustered very easily. And when I first came here, and the first couple of weeks they were very intense with all the maths and stats, and I reached out to my personal tutor and my seminar tutor saying that I can't do this. This is probably not meant for me. But then they stepped in and they said, "No, you're doing fine. You need to calm down and you need to balance everything out." So I was probably not very good at balancing before, but now gradually I've learned to balance my work life and then my studies and my personal life, and that is something very crucial. And lastly, confidence. I was not a very confident individual before. I kept doubting myself, but my professors and the PG office, whenever I spoke to them, they always said that you are doing just fine, you are doing the best you can, so you need to believe in yourself and be confident. And I'm so grateful for all of that.
I think in terms of the skills I developed while at Warwick, I think the two main ones for me will be first being time management, and just not in terms of like academics or professional life, but like overall time management. I think Warwick taught me a lot about how to kind of balance everything from like spending time studying, job hunting, doing extracurricular activities, just having some free time to focus on myself. That's one of the biggest things. And the second one will be communication. I think for me, that was a big one because I've always been a bit afraid of public speaking in general, and like presenting and presentations and everything kind of are like nerve-wracking for me. So water gave me the opportunity to kind of keep working on that skill. And I think after the pandemic, considering things were so virtual and we didn't get like the chance to kind of present in person, my confidence in general was a bit low. But being at Warwick, I kind of got to work on it and kind of ensure that my communication skills got stronger, which has been a great plus point in what I'm doing today.
So I think the most important skill that the economics degree gives you is to learn how to think empirically and how to be critical about research and data, which is not a trivial thing, and I believe it should be taught much earlier to people. Um, the econometrics courses are structured in such a way where people who are not very familiar with the subject still get a very nice introduction and get eased into it. But by the end of the 2 terms of very intensely studying econometrics, I think everybody walks away with a skill set where if they look at a research paper or if they look at the news and see some figures, see some statistics, they can be very critical in thinking about those figures and thinking about the conclusions that people draw from data. And I think that is part of the economics education that I benefit from the most in my everyday life, both in the PhD, where I read literature every day and I have to be very critical in assessing the merits and potential issues that some papers may have, but also outside of the PhD program, where we see news every day, we interact with our friends every day, and so this type of empirical thinking helps a lot in all aspects of life, in my opinion. Beyond that, the course is very well structured in a sense that in the first part of the course, we get the core modules, micro, macro, and econometrics, which kind of equip us with a toolkit to then later on understand our electives and be much more critical once we get to discuss topics that are closer to home and that we are really enthusiastic about. So in general, I think this empirical thinking is probably the most useful. Beyond that, we are also learning how to code in Stata. In certain courses, we also learn how to code in R, which I think is also very useful for people who are looking to go into a PhD, especially if they're interested in empirical research. And beyond that, I think really the way the course is structured, it really forces people to get better with their time management and to really stay on top of their everyday life. I sometimes did lag a bit behind with my coursework, and I really felt like that's one of those things where I had to improve in order to do well in the course. But the nice thing is that the university also offers guidance in how to get better at these things.
My highlight at Warwick has been the number of societies that Warwick has. I'm a very sporty person. I do a lot of sports, from dodgeball to badminton to swimming to gymnastics to dancing. And I literally, over all of my years, I've been part of 5 sports societies every year and just trying out different things. And now I'm on the Team England squad for quite a few of those sports. So I think my highlight for Warwick has just been exploring the different societies, the sports. It has one of the best sports centres in the country, actually, which is great because it's a 5-minute walk from where I live. The kind of people you meet there, the exposure you get, and the socials where you meet people from different courses, training with different people. And I think that's kind of been my highlight, just how much Warwick has to offer in terms of its societies.
So my highlights are like, first thing is since I'm also like a great fan of sports and other activities, so I've enrolled myself in a lot of student unions, ranging from like a bit of music and sports. And since like I'm a great fan of tennis, so I have specialized myself in learning a bit more and playing a bit, competitive. And the most brilliant thing is, I have been a fan of multinationality since like from my childhood. So interacting with people who come from different backgrounds and different mindsets, different cultures, I feel it has enabled me to go deeper into understand mankind as a whole. I feel I can understand like how every person, like we are all made of same thing, but our cultures, our I guess life has a different I guess mold. So I feel I have culturally integrated into a lot of multiculturalism. And lastly, I feel the experience in which I've got uh, in imbibing the culture of being with the best people. I guess it has somehow lifted my spirits to better myself each and every day. So I feel these are the highlights.
My highlight of studying at Warwick is the people. The people are amazing. The range of people that I've met since I've come to Warwick, and I'm going to talk about my professors a bit because they have just been so helpful. So, I have come from a university previously where professors were just there to come to class, teach us, and that's that. But now I have interacted with the professors so many times. I have gone up to them with my problems, ranging from my personal problems that I cannot manage the whatever is going on. It's so fast, I cannot manage. And then they've told me it's okay, calm down, to my academic worries and about my future, how I should probably advance in towards getting a PhD. They've always been so helpful. So my professors, number one, and like of course, like they did not really have to help me out during the Christmas break, but every time, so we had the term one exams right after the Christmas break, and every time I emailed them, they were there to reply back to me, and that gave me a sense of comfort that okay, I have my professors to lean on in case I cannot do anything correctly for the first time. Secondly, the PG office. I have been part of the SSLC, and that's why I've got to interact with the PG office a lot. And I have to mention people like Katie, Andrea, Tina. They have been, Max, and they have been so helpful, and they have been just so encouraging. And the range of events that they come up with, it's fantastic. Thirdly, my friends. I have made so many friends. I am actually a very shy person, introverted rather. And I cannot really go up to people and talk a lot. But the friends I have made here, I hope, fingers crossed, that they are lifelong friends. But I have studied with them. We have gone, like, we've had night outs and we've just had so much fun together. And lastly, the highlight of studying at Warwick for me is the Warwick Arts Center, because it's wonderful. For people who have not been there, they need to go visit that place. It is amazing. I am into music, so every morning I start my day by getting ready and rushing to the Warwick Arts Center, into the music center, and I play the piano there for quite a while. So I just love how I start my day here, and I'm so glad that I don't have to stay away from my passion of music just because I'm pursuing economics.
I think in terms of the highlight of starting at Warwick for me has been like just like networking personally and professionally. I think like my biggest worry was that I'm coming to like a diverse university, but I wasn't sure if I'll have the same support system, which I think is a very crucial part of any student's journey, be it at Warwick or any other university. But I've been very grateful to Warwick for that I've had a strong support system, and I still have it to date. And I found that support system because of Warwick, which has been my friends and my professors who've like are still supporting me, and anytime I need of any sort of help or guidance, they're always there. And I think it's not just like the people I have interacted with, or I kind of knew while I was studying. It's like it's such a supportive and friendly environment in general that you can kind of approach anyone, even if you've like never known them. All you need to do is like send out an email and they'll be more than happy to come meet you or help you out with any worries or issues you have. I think the other one was for me, like, yes, Warwick has a lot of societies, but the one that I really liked was that Warwick also had like societies specifically for like women. One of these societies that I really loved and adored was Warwick Women in Economics, which I think was like a great initiative, and the kind of exposure that society gave and the kind of industry experts in terms of like women in power, they kind of gave us the opportunity to hear, to listen, to kind of interact with was pretty good. So I think those are my highlights of being at Warwick.
For me, my social life was really, I think, the highlight of my university years. Um, I'm Hungarian, so this was my first time moving away from home to live somewhere else. It was a very daunting experience and at first very scary, but I very quickly found very nice communities of people, both Hungarian society, where I could interact with people from my home country, and also sports teams where I could interact with a very diverse group of people. So I was part throughout my years of the Warwick football team and the Warwick futsal team, where essentially it's not just about doing sports, even though there is a very competitive aspect of going to trainings and competing against other universities, but you are also exposed to a very wide and diverse group of people who are all there to socialize or all there to make friends. Um, and I really felt like it made this moving away from home experience from a scary, daunting experience into a very positive. Now that I reflect back on it, it's a very positive way of thinking about moving away from home. And beyond that, Warwick offers a lot of unique social events, both academic and social. I think people can very easily find something that they are passionate about, given the large number of societies, both sports and special interest societies. So I think the unique thing about Warwick is that it offers a very strong academic experience, but also a very nice social life.
Eventually, I'd like to end up in consulting. Whether I do this after my master's or my PhD, I haven't really decided yet. But either way, I think MSc has been a step in the right direction. Warwick's offered me many opportunities to develop the skills that I would need for me to go into this position, starting with the WISE program, which is an internship program for economists, where you get paired up with professors and you can help them and assist them in their research. And I think this is very crucial in terms of putting all of the stuff that you've learned in your modules over the terms into a practical application sense and kind of understanding how to go about writing a paper. What are the assumptions I need to be thinking about in this scenario specifically? And just the kind of professors you meet, the way you spend more time with them, you understand how they think. And I think that really instilled in me the confidence to kind of be like, okay, if I go into consulting, I know where to start. I know where to look. I might not know what the end result is, but I know that I can find my way to that point. And I think that that's been great. I also met my dissertation supervisor through working on a mutual interest. Initially, I was interested in industrial organization, but then after doing a summer placement with another professor, I found my game for game theory. And I just thought that working with the professor for the last year just introduced me to so many new concepts, so many niche markets that I can now happily work on my dissertation with all of the knowledge that I've accumulated over the last year. So consulting, and I think everything that the course teaches you has kind of helped me build up to that point.
Looking ahead, I aspire to leverage skills and knowledge to contribute meaningfully, maybe like in the field of research and development, particularly like using all this financial knowledge and skill that I have. And probably in the future, that maybe I can work in the financial sector or maybe contribute to economic policy. So overall, if I say I am in an equal trade-off between maybe working in the research and development sector or like also in the corporate sector, promoting the field of finance or maybe like working in something somewhere like where my abilities to take decisions at the highest level will be tested. Yeah.
I want to do a PhD after my MSc, and this is again something that Warwick has really done to me because when I first came here, like I said, I was not very keen of econometrics, but as and when I have studied the subject, and especially Manuel, who was our econometrics lecturer in the first term, and then funnily enough, my lecturer in econometrics for the second term is also my seminar tutor for the first term and my personal tutor, Subham. So I just am surrounded by econometrics in general, and I'm really enjoying that right now. So I would love to know more about that and do research. However, I would probably be doing empirical research on topics like the impact of mental health on economic state of people, and in general probably the impact of health in various economic sectors. So I have not really finalized anything yet, but PhD it is.
So I currently work as an econometric consultant in the media and advertising industry. In terms of what made me choose this, so I've always had like an interest in quantitative methods and like just like numbers and data in general. And I kind of wanted to be in a job and in a field where I'm not just like researching and kind of understanding the numbers, but I'm also in a position to be able to like make recommendations of it and kind of be beneficial to the stakeholders involved, to the clients involved. I think like the job I'm currently in came around at the right moment for me because it kind of helps me do all of that. Plus, it kind of helps me cater into like the creative side of things, which I love about my job. Like about I'm an artist on this side, so I love like colors, playing with decks, presentations, and everything. So the fact that I kind of get to be on a project from literally something as basic as data cleaning, data collection, to the point where I'm actually building out models, kind of consolidating results, and then kind of giving recommendations as a consultant and building out those decks. It's been great. And I'd say that I'm able to do all of that because of all the different skill sets I kind of gathered during my time at Warwick, from like analytical skills to technical skills like R Studio, Stata, Excel. And like I think the crucial ones have been like problem solving, like independent decision making on what seems right, what doesn't seem right, kind of making that judgment call on recommendations when talking to a client, and communication, which has been key, kind of knowing how to approach a client, kind of how to communicate your results, and kind of just utilizing all of this in my day-to-day life.
I'm currently pursuing a PhD in economics at the Erasmus School of Economics in Rotterdam, Netherlands. My research is primarily in labor and personnel economics, with projects on the science of science and the impact of diversity policies within firms. One of the reasons why I'm working on these topics is due to the professors that I've had at Warwick. I was very fortunate to get a fantastic supervisor for my bachelor's thesis, Natalia Zinovieva. And since then, we have two joint projects that we're working on together, kind of as part of my PhD and my current research. So I can be very thankful for work in in more ways than one. I think the main reason why I decided to do a PhD is for the challenge of coming up with ideas and thinking about problems and being the first to think about certain problems and certain ways we can contribute to expanding knowledge. And Warwick really helped with maturing this way of empirical thinking and equipping me with the tools to allow me to do data work and think about problems in an empirical fashion.
The best thing about campus, I think, are the geese. When things get hectic, I like taking a walk around campus because it has a lot of quiet spots, it has a lot of lakes, and just sitting on the benches watching the geese do whatever they're doing, I find quite entertaining. A little bit odd, but I think what I like best about campus is the kind the the point that it's a little bit in the middle of nowhere if you walk towards like Lakeside or Sherborne, where you can find some peace and quiet and just be in nature. So I think finding those quiet spots and just having time to yourself is for me the best part of campus.
Honestly, also for me, like I also like to associate myself with tranquility. Means I like and enjoy tranquility and being in nature and exploring those places which brings out the inner peace within you. It's really amazing. And the last thing which really excites me is the periodical events which happens in Warwick, in which small children and school visits happens. It's very cute, and I like to interact with them. And their parents also come with them, and they just play and loiter around. And the families also which stay, I interact with them, so it feels very familiar. So yeah, I like this small things which really bring a lot of changes. So yeah, maybe this much only suffices.
Okay, Ritika?
The best thing about the university campus is just how stunning everything is. Um, Everything, the nature here is so pretty. And I actually live on campus, to be specific, in Heron Bank. And the fun fact about my room is my room, the view from my room is the lake with the geese. So I literally wake up to the geese and the swans and the ducks, and they are not peaceful. Okay, they are so loud, but at the same time, they are so, it's just so fun to watch them because they're always quacking, and I wake up to them every day. So it's just a different kind of fun waking up to the sunrise. My room also faces the east, so I wake up to the sunrise, and there's a lake, and the geese are quacking, and it's just so much fun. Then the next thing, there's this place which I keep going back to, the Gibber Hill Woods. There's a beautiful nature trail there, and I take very frequent walks there. I love that place. And lastly, how safe everything is on campus, because I can be out at 3 in the morning after a very stressful period of studying, and then my brain can't take in anything more, and then I feel like I have to go out, and it can be 3 in the morning. I'm outside, and everything is still so safe because on campus, I've never felt ill at ease. I know that it's just my home now. Like I never felt like an international student distant. I was missing home ever since I came to Warwick. I've never missed home, sadly. It's just my home now. So, yeah, I love everything about it.
Another thing I love about campus is the number of study spaces that are there. You have the Oculus, which is a great building. You have Fab, which is a new building. And my personal favorite, the library. You have a nice, traditional library with lots of books and wood, and it's very aesthetic. But then you also have the extension with massive computers and quiet zones and big windows. And you're never bored of studying in the same place just because there's so many places available. So I think that's one of the things that's kept me motivated, just the number of places where you can just go sit and study or just book a room and meet with friends. I think just the number of buildings that Warwick has to offer is great.
Another thing that I really love about Warwick is our department, the Department of Economics. When I started to go to the study rooms and the common rooms and just study there or enjoy my time with my friends, it felt lovely and very cozy actually. And it's so safe, like I said. I was there up till like 10, 11 at night, and I was just focusing on my work, and it all felt so good. Just going to my department every day during the term break, because I was here, I didn't go back to my home. I was here all the while, and getting out of bed every day, getting ready, going to my department, I think that gave me another motivation to study throughout the term break. And I'm so grateful for that.
I think in terms of advice for prospective students, the one thing I can say is just make use of everything that's available to you on campus, from guidance on your jobs, library service, any social event you can attend, the nature as has been mentioned. I think it's kind of there's just like a lot that's happening at Warwick, and there's like a lot of opportunities that arises for students, and I think it's kind of on us to kind of take up those opportunities and make use of everything that's being offered to us. So that's all I'd say. Like, make sure you're making and utilizing all those opportunities.
So I think the very nice thing about work is it's a campus university, so it's very easy to socialize. I would definitely throw myself into everything initially, and then obviously, whatever sticks, it sticks, and then keep doing it. Also make use of the department resources. making use of the office hours, I think it's probably one of the best pieces of advice that I could give. Office hours, essentially, every professor has about half an hour each week where you can book time slots, even if they don't teach you. If you have any questions or are interested in the research that they do, you can book a slot and have a conversation with them. Which I don't know if it's a work special, but I think it's one of the best resources available to you as a student.